If already lost count of how many times I've taken the university entrance exam. As soon as I step out of the school gate, time rewinds to before the exam. The test questions I painstakingly memorized late at night flow like porridge. When the bell rings to signal the end of the exam, I suddenly want to cry. Please, sir, let me out of here. I feel like I'm terrifyingly strong now. Even New Dawn University, I could pass it casually. For the first time, I ran so fast. Even my shoe insoles flew off. Finally, 5 minutes before the exam began, I made it to the last row of the testing room, wiping the sweat from my forehead, taking a few deep breaths, muttering to myself that I'm not nervous. I start the exam. The first day of testing went fairly smoothly, except for almost being late. I performed at my usual level more or less. On the second day, I left the house half an hour early. This time I had plenty of time. Confidently, I filled the entire test paper, carefully checked my name, candidate number, and personal details, calmly capped my pen, feeling like a master sheathing his sword. Finally, the exam was over. What's there to be nervous about with this thing? Who cares about attending a third-tier university? If the tests are different, why bother checking again? I checked nothing. A few points more or less, what does it matter? Am I the type to care about a few points? I slumped alone at my desk, muttering to myself, while drawing the gaze of the proctor. He shook his head, unconsciously looking at me, as if saying this pig won't make it. 3 years and still no chance at Blue University. My grades aren't great, but they're consistently mediocre. The type that occasionally overperforms, yet still can't reach second tier. Even if I down half a liter of liquor before the exam, but am not so bad as to end up at a vocational school. This realization made my whole being exude a sense of ease. When the bell rang to end the exam, I followed the crowd out of the classroom, stepped out of the lecture hall building, saw my old mother at the school gate waving tirelessly at me. My old father tossed away the half-smoked cigarette, turned the car key, and drove toward the corner of the street. The moment my foot stepped out of the school gate, the sky darkened pitch black. It wasn't the sky darkening, but me. Or rather, not exactly me. As if something covered my eyes. It was my eyelids. Damn it, what the hell is going on? I opened my eyes, staring blankly at the digital clock on the wall. June 5th, 9:30 p.m. I'm back to square one. I was just dreaming earlier. How did I get home in the blink of an eye? Is this my house? Panicked, I pushed the door open. Saw my old mother resting her head on my old father's lap in the living room, her mouth holding an orange head just peeled for her. Why aren't you sleeping? What are you doing out here? You've got the exam tomorrow. Don't rest early. Didn't I already finish the exam? I asked, confused. My mother glanced at my father, then looked at me, then turned to my father and asked, "Have you hit the kid these past 2 days?" My father froze. "No, I haven't." Then why's our kid acting so dumb? I don't know. Maybe you should give him a beating to see if it snaps him out of it. You really want me to hit him? I stood in front of them, my eyes twitching as I listened. Get back to bed. You've got the exam tomorrow and you're standing here talking nonsense. Back in my room, I thought and thought. Still no clue. I went back to the living room, boldly pinched my father. He yelped in pain. That hurt. It's not a dream. Damn it, why'd you pinch me if you thought you were dreaming? Pinch your mother. My mother jumped up in pain. Why the hell did you pinch me? I pinched myself. It's true, I'm back, not dreaming. My parents beside me couldn't be more real. Why did I go back to days? So I have to take the exam again tomorrow. Wait, I think I remember 2 major math problems. Better to believe it's real than not. Greedily, I scoured the internet, searching for solutions to those 2 big problems, forcing myself to memorize the methods. From outside came my mother's muttering, "Listen, what's our son doing in his room? Sounds like he's flipping through books, studying nonsense. Since when does our son come home and study?" My mother knocked on the door, carefree. "Not sleeping? What are you doing?" Too tired to yawn, just reading a novel. The 2 outside sighed in unison. I knew it. This kid would never study. Exactly. Scared me for a second. Thought the college entrance exam turned him dumb. I didn't bother with them, since I can remember they've talked to me like this. Not like elders. but more like bad friends. I'm used to it. I made sure I memorized the solutions to the two big problems. Techniques all set. Turned off the light and went to sleep. Tomorrow the results would be clear. And sure enough, all efforts pay off. Those two big problems were right there on the test, exactly as I remembered. Since it was my second time doing the exam, I had impressions of many of the multiple choice answers. Whether they were right or not, I can't say. But I worked through the test quickly. After finishing, I started memorizing the questions. If I look back to the day before the exam again, I'll study one more night. If there's no loop, I still got points for the two big problems. Either way, I'm not losing out. After the first day of testing, my mood was indescribably good. I whistled while eating, spraying rice all over my father's face. You little punk, I'll beat the crap out of you so confident, huh? Think the college entrance exam means I won't hit you. My mother smacked the back of my father's head. Scold the kid if you're gonna scold him. Don't hurt my dad. Green flower or North Capitol, which do you like? My father glared at me. What's that? I'm dead and you're planning to bury me in a university. Your grown son can actually get into school. Are you surnamed Dong or something? The deans of Green Flower and North Capitol are killers, you think? Old man, don't joke. I might actually pass. My father patted my mother's shoulder quick. Bring the neighbor's black dog over here. Get some blood to smear on this kid's face. Something's possessed him. Don't believe me, fine. As long as this loop continues. Sooner or later, one day I'll memorize every test question. Another night of reading aloud echoed. Knowledge made me happy. The second day of testing ended. With a mix of anticipation and anxiety, I stepped out of the school gate. That familiar beloved darkness enveloped me again. I opened my eyes back in my bedroom. The clock on the wall still showed June 5th, 900 p.m. Yes. I screamed in excitement. My mother turned down the TV volume a few notches. What's her son yelling about in his room? Sounds like he's practicing English. In my excitement, I also felt a bit of worrying. How many times will this loop repeat? Will it be enough to memorize every question on the test? If it keeps looping forever looping, won't I be doomed? Even if I score perfectly, I won't get an admission letter. Forget it, no point thinking too much. First memorize the questions, then figure out how to break the loop later. And so I took the college entrance exam over and over. The test questions in my head grew and grew. After the thrill of the loop, the surprise and excitement turned to boredom, monotony, and even fear. After breakfast, I refused my parents' offer to drive me to the exam center. It's just a few minutes walk. Driving would get stuck at the neighborhood gate. I swerved left to avoid a cabbage leaf. Not sure which window it fell from. At the intersection, the light was green, but I stopped for 3 seconds, waiting for a small car to pass the puddle before crossing. Passing the bakery, I stopped to look for a bit. The girl working there is really pretty. Her smile has two adorable dimples. At the school gate, many classmates had arrived early, holding all sorts of flashcards memorizing something. I found a shady spot to squat, not daring to sit on the cement. It's damp. Sitting too long would make me fart, and the kid in front would raise their hand to report me. This loop, I didn't do the exam. I focused on memorizing the questions. I've memorized almost the entire test. Just a few small questions I'm not clear on. This loop should wrap up the memorization. This exam, my score is nearly perfect. In 1 hour, I memorized all the unclear parts. Stretching comfortably, I said, "Teacher, I want to submit my paper." The proctor looked at his watch. "Not allowed. It's not time yet." "Then I want to leave the exam room." "Not allowed. Doing that will cancel your results." "Cancel it then." The proctor adjusted his glasses. "This is a serious violation. It could even affect your future exams. Do you understand?" "No problem, no problem. I'm leaving, teacher. Do as you please." Under the stunned gazes of the proctor and students, I strolled out of the exam room. The moment I stepped out of the school, my mind was a mess. Damn it, are you kidding me? Why didn't it loop this time? I didn't believe it. I went back through the school gate, jumped out, then jumped back in. Still couldn't get into the loop. The security guard at the gate couldn't take it anymore. Came over and asked, "Kid, what's wrong? Is the cement too hot for your feet?" I didn't bother answering. Why has it darkened? He looked at his watch, then at the sun. It's a long way from getting dark. Muttering to himself, he walked away. Kids these days study until they're stupid. Only know how to take exams. Don't even know when it gets dark. Back home, my parents were just about to go pick me up. You're back already? What time is it? I submitted my paper and came home. Submitting this early is allowed. My old father stepped out of the bathroom, looking at me like I was an idiot. Our star athlete is so confident. Submitting early, no less. Dad, if I don't get into a third-tier university, will you make me repeat a year? My father shook his head. With your character, I know you too well. Repeating a year is pointless. If you don't get into a third tier, go to a vocational school. What if I don't even get into a vocational school? At that, my father's face turned green. Did you hit the proctor? Rip up someone's test paper? His face softened. Haha. How could you not get into a vocational school? Is your head stuck under a pig's butt? One submitted a blank paper. A blank paper. No big deal. Damn it, I slumped onto the floor, sighing deeply. How do I explain this to them? Dad, do you believe in ghosts possessing walls? It'll beat the crap out of your grandma's leg. If my mother hadn't reacted quickly, a slipper would flown into my mouth. I'm tired. I'm going out. Where are you going? My mother holding back. My father asked. To the rooftop. I really went to the rooftop, but I had no intention of jumping. I just wanted to breathe some fresh air. Damn it, really. The moment I submitted a blank paper, it didn't loop. The heavens are playing with me. Thinking of how hard I worked, memorizing answers through countless exhausting nights. I felt like the biggest idiot. Might as well jump. My vision darkened again. Instinctively, I looked at the clock on the wall. Still that same moment. I understood. The time loop didn't start the moment I stepped out of the school gate. It's a fixed point in time. Now I'm more at ease. The things I memorized weren't wasted. But the biggest problem now is, how do I end this loop? And why is this loop happening? If I'm stuck in these 2 days for life, that's too unfair. I looped a few more times. Each time, filling the test paper with answers, praying the loop would end. Each time I stepped out of the school gate, it was like playing a gacha game, hoping to pull an SSR card. Sadly, every time I opened the reward, the cruel reality pulled me into an even crueler loop. No way am this unlucky, I muttered as I walked down the stairs. Today I made a bold decision. I'm not going to the exam anymore. I have to figure out why I'm stuck in this time loop. If I keep obediently taking the exam as planned, I might never find the answer. But still, as I said, if I really skip the exam and the loop ends, it'll be left dumbfounded. After thinking it over, I decided to take a gamble. The first thing I thought of was the route. Could it be that on the way to the exam center, I bumped into something or angered something? Today, I'll try a different route or wander around near the exam center. See if there's anything strange. From my house to the exam center, there are only a few roads. I've walked them all. Nothing changed. The 2-day loop continued. I checked the area near the exam center thoroughly. Didn't find anything. Got chased by security a few times. They thought I was up to no good. I wiped the huge beads of sweat from my forehead, cursed under my breath. It's too damn hot today. My clothes are soaked. I stepped under a tree's shade. 2 old men were playing chess. I stood by and watched. It wasn't time for the exam to end yet. I didn't dare go home. If my parents found out I skipped the exam, I'd definitely get a beating. Sir, your chariot is about to cross the river. The old man grinned at me. Young man, you don't know anything, do you? This is called a strong position, sir. Your electric cart didn't have the brake on its rolling. It's really about to cross the river. On the slope, a light green electric cart with "Pick Up Grandkids" written on it was slowly rolling down the winding road. Oh my God! The old man shot up like a rocket. Look at those nimble legs. Healthier than mine. You want to be young again? not even helping to stop the cart, the other old man said. Losing his chess partner, he seemed helpless. I lost just because of that bad hand holding the cart. That's why it rolled down there. You know how to play chess? I nodded sure. We played a few rounds. The old man looked at my moves, stroking his beard, thinking for ages. Young man, you just learned chess, didn't you? How'd you know? I've been playing chess for over 30 years. Your opening move is truly rare. After a few moves, I was left with 1 king and 3 pawns, making the old man yawn till he was sleepy. A phone ringtone sounded. An old song. If I remember right, it's called Great Sword Slashes Demons' Heads. The old man dazedly answered the phone. What? Where? He abandoned the chessboard and ran toward the intersection. A few more loops passed. Still no clues. I walked every road near the exam center. Found nothing. Didn't know where I wandered to. At the end of the intersection, an old man dressed like a Taoist priest was sitting, wearing sunglasses. Not sure if he was blind. In front of him was a table. Next to it a chair. On the table was a faded red cloth, with 8 big characters written on it. No need to speak. I know good and bad. Below the big characters was a line of small text. Without your speaking, I demand your faith. My English isn't great, but I got the gist. This old man's got a wide business, I thought. Since we've met, it must be fate. Let's have the old man read my fortune. Maybe it'll work. I sat on the chair calmly looking at the old man. I stared for ages, but he didn't say anything. So I cleared my throat loudly. The old man jumped, startled. My god damn it. You scared the hell out of me. He hit me with a small stick. You sick or something? Bullying a disabled person in this old? What if you scare me to death? I got annoyed too. Touched my nose, wiped the sweat off my face. Didn't you write no need to speak? I'm damn blind. How would I know what that rag says? I spread my hands, then realized he couldn't see. So I let it go. Fine, you're a fortune teller, right? Yes, so what do you want me to read? Why are you cursing people? Don't get mad. I cleared my throat again. Wiped the sweat from my face. I want you to read how I can escape my current state. What state are you in? I feel like I'm stuck, living the same day over and over. Boring and terrifying. The old man pinched his fingers, calculating, muttering something under his breath. I couldn't hear clearly. No problem, I said suddenly. No problem. This is the normal state for working people. All workers are like you. I know I'm not working yet. I haven't even graduated high school. The blind old man looked a bit embarrassed. I just calculated based on a career path. No wonder it felt off. Are you even legit? Why wouldn't I be? The old man repeated the process, still muttering something I couldn't hear. Breaking the cycle is simple. Go west, yes, west. I couldn't help but want to laugh. This old man's clearly scamming me. Where's west? The old man pointed his stick in a direction. There you go. How much? Meeting is fate. Why talk about money? Not bad. He's just scamming me, not my money. A blind man, how would he know where west is? That stick was pointing randomly. West, just keep going west. Damn it, I ended up back home. I opened my phone to check the map, wanting to confirm if I'd walked every route from my house to the exam center. Yesterday, I took this road. The day before, I took Central Road. The first time I went to the exam, which road did I take? I muttered to myself, thinking, it's been too long. I couldn't quite remember, Dad. From our house to my exam center. If I walk, which road do you take? My father didn't look up, focused on peeling an orange for my mother. Spring Joy Road. Spring Joy Road, Spring Joy Road. What the hell is Spring Joy Road? In my memory, there's no road called Spring Joy. I opened the map. No Spring Joy Road on the map either, Dad. What Spring Joy Road? My father touched my forehead. No fever. Why is this kid talking nonsense? What's that from our house down? What's the road? Spring Light Road, right. Spring Light Road is on the left. Spring Fortune Road, no wait. To the left of Spring Light Road is Spring Joy Road. Further left is Spring Fortune Road, right. That road, you've walked it 1,000,000 times since you were a kid. How do you not remember? You've studied yourself, stupid. My mother Stretch studied my ass. He was born dumb. Spring Joy Road, I have to check it out tomorrow. The sun today was especially harsh. In just a few minutes, I was soaked again. Didn't they say they'd make artificial rain for the exam days? Why is it so sunny? Sir, can I ask for directions? How do I get to Springjoy Road? A passerby pointed. Go straight to the second traffic light. About 1,500 meters. Thanks, sir. Following the passerby's directions, I went to the second traffic light he mentioned. Looking at the road sign, Spring Fortune Road, that's not right. This isn't Springjoy Road either. I stopped a woman passing by. Mom, can I ask for direction? How do I get to Springjoy Road? She pointed to. Back the way I came, go straight, it's there. How far? Not far. About 1,800 meters, see that traffic light? That's the spot. I just came from there. I went back to the traffic light she mentioned. The road sign clearly said Spring Light Road. A chill ran from my feet to the top of my head. Goosebumps covered my body. My whole body was prickling. Even this heat couldn't stop the shiver running through me. This is really creepy. This feeling, what's it like? There's clearly a road there, but I can't see it, can't step onto it. Like the road was pulled from 3 dimensions to 2. Just a line I accidentally stepped over. I had a hunch. The time loop I'm experiencing, all these weird things, must be related to Springjoy Road. If I can step onto that road, all the mysteries will be solved. I can escape this time loop. Damn it, I don't believe in ghosts. I waved down a taxi. Where to? The driver asked me. Springjoy Road. Just get to Springjoy Road. It's right ahead, isn't it? My legs are a bit sore. Please take me there. No problem, no charge. But damn it, the driver kept looking in the rearview mirror. Even pulled over. Stuck his head out the window. Sorry. I drove past it. Why didn't you call out when you saw Springjoy Road? I didn't notice either. No worries, I'll turn around. Damn it! Was the liquor I drank yesterday that strong? The driver got out looking back and forth. I wasn't even driving fast. Didn't dare step on the gas. Damn, this is creepy. Hold on, buddy. I'll turn around again. The driver hugged the curb, turned on the hazard lights. Crawling at 5 miles an hour, inching along. Clumped. The car suddenly jolted a few times. The engine stalled. A seasoned driver, and he stalled the car. He must be scared out of his wits. His face was covered in sweat. Through the rearview mirror, he sneaked a glance at my face. A dark cloud came from nowhere, covering the sun, as if the whole world darkened. Buddy, brother, let me go. I'll burn lots of paper money for you later, okay? This time the driver went slow. Both of us clearly felt. The road was visible, but the moment the car touched the intersection, the road was pulled back by some mysterious force. In the rearview mirror, I saw the road sign Springjoy Road. Why? Who erased that road from my memory? According to my father, I used to walk that road often. Now I have no impression of it. What's on that road? Or what happened on that road? First it disappeared from the map. Then some strange force pulled it from 3 dimensions to 2, turning it into a road I can see but can't touch. What's the reason for all this? Everyone else can step onto that road except me. Even when I took a taxi, the driver and the taxi couldn't get onto that road either. If there's a mysterious force making me loop endlessly, keeping me from getting close to Springjoy Road, if that force has a will, what's its purpose? How long does it want to control me? Should I follow its will, stop caring about Springjoy Road, or try every way to actually step onto that road? I couldn't figure it out, so I posted online for help. If there's a road in this world that doesn't exist, how can I step onto it? Unexpectedly, the post got pretty popular. Some said it's a philosophical issue to be examined with dialectical thinking. Some said it's a mathematical problem, posting a bunch of formulas I didn't understand. What intrigued me most was someone saying it's a Buddhist issue, telling me to find a high monk well-versed in Buddhist teachings to explain. Not that this opinion was definitely right, but among countless comments, it was the only one I felt had a chance of working. I could do it. In Forest City, there's a temple. Many people go there to burn incense and pray. It's said to be quite sacred. I took a bus to Forest City, climbed the mountain the whole way. Finally, before noon, I stood at the temple gate, wiping the sweat from my forehead. I finished the bottle of mineral water in my hand, stepped through the temple gate. The midday sun was scorching. Not many pilgrims in the temple. I politely stopped a monk in a saffron robe, explained my purpose. The monk looked a bit confused after hearing me. I want to find a high monk skilled in Buddhist teachings. What do you mean? I have a problem I'd like to consult a master about, preferably one with great spiritual power. The monk nodded, led me left and right out of the temple through the back gate. The back gate connected to a small path, winding up the mountain. It just headed toward the peak, not sure how long it was. After climbing for nearly half an hour, I was exhausted, panting heavily. Finally, I saw the end of the path. There were 2 thatched huts. The monk pointed to one of the huts, bowed to me in Buddhist greeting without a word, and left alone. I went to the door of one hut, faintly hearing small noises inside. I knocked gently. Which master is in there? Hello. Some are carefree. I'd like to consult the master about a problem. Wait a moment, I'm coming, a voice said. A moment later, the door opened. No one appeared. Just a stick. The person who stepped out was the blind Taoist priest. I was a bit shocked. Aren't you the fortune-telling Taoist? He recognized my voice too. Aren't you that high school kid? I looked at the distant Zen monastery, then back at the Taoist. A Taoist like you, why are you in a temple? Who says a Taoist can't stay in a monk's house? We're all part of the same system. What system? Fine. That monk said, the one with great spiritual power is you. That's me, alright. Suddenly, I had no expectations for this trip. Why do I still feel trapped by time? Wait a sec, I'll calculate again. If not, try going east this time. I quickly interrupted. Hold on, brother. Are you fortune-telling so carelessly? I sighed, thinking since I'm here, after climbing this whole mountain, might as well ask. This time I want to ask. If there's a road in this world that doesn't exist, how can I step onto it? The Taoist priest heard my question. His brows furrowed tightly. His right thumb touched the joints of his other 4 fingers, counting one by one. He was silent for about 5 minutes, sweat beading on his forehead. Finally, he sighed, if you try hard, you can step onto it. Damn it, I swallowed the curse. I can't really blame others, only myself. Damn it, I knew he was a fraud. And I still had expectations. Tell me about that road in detail. A voice came from behind. It was a slightly tall old monk, holding a wooden staff, a basket slung over his arm. The basket full of wild greens. His long white eyebrows fluttered in the mountain breeze, looking exactly like a hidden master. The blind Taoist bowed to the old monk. Senior brother. Senior brother, a Taoist calling a monk senior brother. Shouldn't it be fellow Taoist? But that wasn't important. I quickly told the old monk, who seemed like a master, about the strange Springjoy Road. Why are you so determined to get to Springjoy Road? Because I feel only by reaching that road will I understand some things. You must understand no matter what, right? The old monk nodded, pulled a wild green from his basket, handed it to me. What's this green? What's it called? I shook my head. I don't know wild greens. It's called brick. I was dumbfounded. Brick? Isn't brick called brick? He pulled out another green identical. What's this called? I answered, brick, right. It's called single weight. Aren't these 2 greens the same? The old monk didn't answer. Pulled out a third wild green. Still the same kind. What's this called? I shook my head. Starfish. The old monk nodded. It's called starfish. The old monk grinned at me. You know this green? I don't. If you don't, how do you know its name? I made it up. I cleared my throat. I'm a bit dumb. Math, I'd score 16 points at best. Can you explain it more clearly? The old monk placed the 3 greens on the ground. This is called brick. This is called single weight. This is starfish. Now do you understand? I admit, for a moment, I wanted to retract my thought that he was a master. But then I thought, masters in TV dramas seem to talk like this. Master, I still don't understand. The old monk handed a green to the blind Taoist. Junior brother, what's this? This is jade green. And this one, this is milk tea. And the last one, yoga pants. Wait a second. What's wrong with this world? Why am I discussing yoga pants with a monk and a Taoist? The old monk turned back to me, pulled out another green. What's this? Bra, right. It's bra. And this one gum. Exactly, and this one. Little Rice 47, right. Wait, I think I'm starting to get it. But not completely. Something flashed through my mind, but I couldn't grasp it. The old monk squatted down, carefully cleared the grass and pebbles, making a 1-meter square patch of bare ground. He used a branch to draw a square on the ground. What's this? It's a square. Am I supposed to calculate its area? No, this isn't a square. This is your house. My house near the square. He drew two parallel lines. I think I understood his meaning. What's this? This is Spring Light Road. He nodded, drew 2 more parallel lines beside Spring Light Road. And this one, Spring Joy Road. The old monk kept drawing, asking as he drew, and I answered, Spring Fortune Road. The old monk looked at the Taoist junior brother. What's this road? My eyes twitched again. Asking a blind man, isn't that bullying? Spring Joy Road. The old monk switched to another road. And this one, Spring Joy Road. And the last one, Spring Joy Road. Then the old monk smiled at me. Got it. Master, you mean all 3 roads are Spring Joy Road? The Taoist got impatient, threw his stick, grabbed a handful of greens from the old monk's basket. This kid, dumb as hell. This green is called Spring Joy. This one's also called Spring Joy. He tossed the greens aside, grabbed my collar. I say it's Spring Joy. So it's Spring Joy. What others think, I don't care. To me, it's Spring Joy. It's just a road, a dead thing. I call it whatever I want, and it is what I say it is. Why care what others call it? The Taoist's voice was loud, making my ears ring, but I truly understood. I bowed to the old monk, and the Taoist slowly walked down the mountain. Behind me, I heard the old monk and Taoist talking. Senior brother, someone this dumb. Have you ever met anyone else like him? I have. Don't talk. You don't know how dumb this kid is. Last time I told him to go west, and he damn well kept going west. He's dumb, sure, but he's a good kid. Dumb but good. These things, he has to realize them himself for it to matter. If he gets it, that's good. I stood by Spring Fortune Road, wiped the sweat from my forehead, closed my eyes. Imagine the scene when this road was just built. When it first opened to traffic, I walked alone on this road. Around me, people chattered lively about the road. Spring Fortune Road is nicely built. Once the ginkgo trees grow, this road will be even prettier. I cut into their conversation. This road is Spring Joy Road. The two looked at me strangely. Spring Joy Road is over there. This road is Spring Fortune Road, not Spring Joy. In my heart, it's Spring Joy Road. Spring Joy is what you call it. The name I give it is Spring Joy. The two cursed called me crazy and left. I opened my eyes and looked at the road sign again. It clearly said Spring Joy Road. This Spring Joy Road felt both familiar and strange. I could guess what was on this road. What shop was at the next corner? Every time I guessed right, but I had no memory of this road. At the end of Spring Joy Road was a small river, not wide but a bit deep. Over the river was a stone bridge. Across the bridge was still called Spring Joy Road. On the bridge, something seemed to draw me in. My intuition told me there was something here. Something I'd lost. Something very important to me. Many passers-by leaned on the bridge railing, pointing down below, as if someone had caught a big fish. I struggled to push through the crowd, looked down at the water below the bridge. No one was fishing. Someone was drowning. In the water were two people. One a small child, looking about 5 or 6 years old. The other was a bit older. The child sat on the river bank crying loudly. The older one lay flat on the ground. A man was performing CPR on him. Looking at that person's face, it was me. An old man stumbled over, pushed through the crowd, hugged the crying child tightly. The old man fumbled for a moment, let go of the child, looked at me drowning, held my hand, crying uncontrollably. Grandson, you can't die. You're so young. You can't lose your life saving my grandson. The old man looked familiar. I remembered. It was the old man I played chess with. That day he got a phone call and left in a hurry, probably hearing his grandson fell into the water. The person under the bridge was me. So who am I? I remembered. The first time I went to the exam, I took Spring Joy Road to the exam center. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. This wasn't sweat. It was river water with a faint fishy smell. The scene before my eyes shattered. Black-white. Vivid colors swirled into my head. All colors blended into black. The black seemed to be smashed by something. The world turned white again. The white gradually faded, becoming transparent. A piercing ringing filled my ears. The pale color turned white again. The white moved sometimes left, sometimes darting right. Something passed before my eyes. The world became a bit clearer. Haze awake, haze awake. This kid's finally awake. The white from earlier was a doctor. I had a cigarette tucked behind my ear. Eyes teary looking at me. No more danger to his life, truly carefree. This kid's finally awake. Found his way home. That voice sounded a bit unfamiliar. I turned my stiff neck, looking toward the voice. An old blind man was packing his things. Before I could see his face clearly, he left the hospital room. Mom, was that a patient from the same room? A Taoist priest. Had minor surgery, discharged today. I was in a coma for half a month. Exactly 15 days. But luckily my body had no major issues. A bit more rest and I'd be fine. I definitely missed the college entrance exam, but the authorities called my father, saying when I recover, they can arrange a makeup exam. Just me in the exam room. Thinking of the exam, I grabbed my phone. I still remembered those test questions clearly. I went online to check this year's exam questions. Damn it, none matched what I memorized. Sure enough, dreams are just dreams. Another week passed. I recovered almost fully. I took the exam alone. When the test paper was placed before me, I was stunned. This set of questions I'd memorized.